on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the growing household. Allie, Amanda, Derek, Genevieve are all with us today. A round of applause for everyone. Woo, yeah.
Lit.
Special guest today, Andrew Spencer returns to the Viall Files. Friend of show. How many times have you been here now? 3, 4?
This will be my third time. Fourth time.
Fourth time.
Yeah.
Is this your first time solo? Because I know you've been on with Greg, you've been on with Susie, remote, and then
Susie was remote. You were
Susie
here.
was remote.
I think I did another one I think it was after Paradise. I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to have you back.
Thank you, man.
Andrew, the
Appreciate
people really enjoy your commentary, your takes, your comedy, your
Yeah. Just waiting for my spot here as well with my little desk.
really a breath of fresh air. You wanna
Yeah, I mean,
you want a job?
Yeah, come on. I'm ready,
If you were going to be a correspondent, like what would you be the correspondent in?
We'll work that out in our contract.
Yeah, like what are you bringing to the household?
I'm happy to
What
have
are
these
your
discussions.
skills?
Laughs. I don't
Andrew,
know. Like a quick laugh factor.
Totally.
Yeah. What's the laugh about today? And I'm bringing it in.
What's the laugh about?
What's the laugh about?
What is the laugh about today, Andrew?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Want to try it out?
Yeah. So, if you guys don't know, today, as soon as we walk in, Nick had dog poop on his shoe.
I did.
So that was your quick laugh of the day.
I wonder when I got that because
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, you
weird.
should check your car.
We didn't
no, it's not gonna be
in the car.
Honestly, I think it's when we got coffee on the sidewalk.
No,
maybe.
I just mean if you were driving in your car.
Oh,
I was actually driving
yeah.
Allie's car this morning.
Oh.
So, oops. But it was just like just a bit on, just a tip of it. It wasn't even on
Just the
underneath.
tip.
Just the tip. It was literally.
Kiki here found it.
Maybe
It's
it was-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kiki was on high
Kiki
alert.
What is
discovered
that?
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can still see some brown.
Do you?
Yeah, on the tip.
Just
Can
the
you guys
tip.
see it?
Yeah, I was
What's
gonna.
the laugh today with Andrew Spencer?
What's the laugh today?
He's like poo. Well, it's we're hometowns already.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my
This has
crap.
gone real
But
fast.
they really bled this episode. They stretched it out into nothing. Anyways, before we get into this episode, what do we got for?
Some batch tea.
Are you dating Susie?
No, absolutely not. No, not even.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
you could deny it.
Absolutely
You don't have to
A little
sound like you're
lesbian
disgusted
list.
at the idea. You're like, ew, gross, yuck, Susie.
No, that's what we decided. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna completely just
Deny?
deny it hard.
I feel like your TikTok would say differently, but
Okay.
Are you milking it for clicks?
No, well, no, sorta. Yeah. It's funny. Like if people get the humor, then
It's part of the
Great.
quick laugh.
yeah, it's a quick laugh.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Susie?
Dude, Susie is the goofiest person you'll ever meet. And I think she's like the better version, but girl version of me, where she doesn't really overthink the things that she does. She's just like, hey, I'm gonna do it, and I think
She
that's
just
the coolest thing. Yeah, she executes.
And then what's this going? You said something about you and Justin going back and forth.
oh yeah.
So
Susie's the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
She has her final
Yeah.
rose, and who's it gonna go to?
So we're basically
the
like
internet's
on this
waiting.
Is that
long
what's going
going
on?
2-on-1 right now.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, he did his video with her the other day. They did like a Target run. I don't know how I felt about it, but it was I try to support them, even though
You wanted to go to Target.
I wanted to be a
I
part
wish
of the
I
video.
could
It's
have.
intimate.
If I could have like a sub-in boyfriend at times, it would be to go to Target.
Yeah.
Like, what are the?
You don't like Target?
No.
Really?
Do you?
I don't mind it.
If you were going with somebody else's credit card, would you like Target?
No.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I mean,
What's
like
to like?
you just
The possibility.
They get
Yeah.
yeah.
The possibility of stuff.
Yeah.
All it
Yeah.
is stuff.
You
Yeah,
can
but
get
it's-
everything
It's
there.
long-lasting stuff.
Is it?
Some of it is.
Like
That's
what?
why it's fun. I have a jacket that I get compliments on like every time I wear it from Target.
Yeah.
And
it's
some
true.
people
But-
have the nicest throw pillows from Target.
Yeah.
Listen, I love a good like find, but I'm just saying anywhere, whether it's Target or maybe it's Goodwill or a rummage sale. And yes, it holds a special place in your heart when you have like a staple piece that you enjoy wearing that you like got at a good price.
Yeah, you took
Yeah.
a risk on.
Yeah.
That's why we go to Target.
You don't go to Target to find.
You just never know what you're gonna find.
You never know.
It's the
the
search.
dress that I wore for the Bachelor in Paradise, what was that? Reunion? What were you guys filming?
Yeah.
Target. And I was
Really?
front,
How
front
often
and center.
do you-
front and center, baby.
Do you
Front and center.
regularly go to Target and look at like clothes?
See, the thing is, I live maybe 3 steps from Target in Chicago.
And do you grocery shop there?
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap avocados. Target for a while had avocados for 75 cents.
No idea. I've never bought an
Fun
avocado.
fact.
There is
No, I never
nothing more
either.
chaotic than a Target in New York City, though.
Oh,
They robbed
They're
me of my joy
terrible.
there.
really?
But they
I
do have the
couldn't go
nice
back.
For
little
like 25
bags.
square feet.
Andrew,
No, I was
do you look
overwhelmed.
at prices when you grocery shop?
Um,
What level of success are you?
I do.
You
It,
do.
it just depends. Well, because Whole Foods, I shop at Whole Foods when I
Yeah,
do
same,
grocery
yeah.
shopping, and they just sometimes I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, let's
Yeah.
be real. But like most times, no, I don't really eat a lot. I know exactly what I'm gonna get.
I've heard that about you.
Yeah, no, I don't.
That's right. I
I'm
forgot
on
about-
my Bella Hadid. You know, I gotta get skinny. So,
Like, what was the thing you were eating that one time and you said it was like
well, I like to eat skinny pop. That's my
Okay.
thing. I'm
with
a
the
big
drink?
No,
What?
skinny
What?
pop.
It's
The
a
popcorn.
popcorn.
Are you thinking
Popcorn.
Poppy?
You're
Oh, the popcorn.
or like skinny
Yeah.
girl margarita. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
what you're thinking?
But it's like a meal?
Yeah.
Skinny pop?
Well, like that's like, and it's that and sweet green. So it's like I'll get like one sweet green meal, and I'll have a smoothie, and I'll skinny pop. That's like what I eat in a
Girl
day.
dinner.
You know?
Girl
Yeah.
dinner.
Girl dinner.
dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for
Well, I
you.
mean, I've been so freaking big for so long. Like I played football for so long. I'm like, dude, I'm not that.
You trying to
guy
cut
anymore.
down?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I got all this. Like, look at like my boob here, dude. It's like like at least a C or something. It's in there.
Oh my God. They're dancing. Nick, can you do that too?
Not like that. Not, I used to be able to. I don't know if I could.
That's not an advertisement for YouTube. I don't know what it is. You guys got to see this.
His really
They jump.
his bounce and then keeps going.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
Sure.
feel like I would need to wear like a sports bra sometimes when I run because like I'm like, bro, like this is too much.
You're going to get back
No.
problems.
That's what I'm saying. I can already
No.
feel it like in the middle of my back.
Skinny girl, skinny girl pop, I guess.
Skinny pop.
Skinny pop.
Skinny girl pop.
Is that? Am I combining two different ones?
Yes.
Skinny girl margarita and skinny pop.
Yeah, skinny girl pop.
Skinny girl pop.
I'm surprised it's allowed to be called skinny pop. I just feel
Well,
like
there's
the
like
word
literally
skinny is.
nothing. It tastes
Yeah.
like air sometimes.
I
but
feel like they're promoting unhealthy eating habits.
yeah, that may be.
You know
Yeah,
what? I don't
call
want
it
to. I don't want to start a
snacked
thing
pop.
for all the skinny pop people out there.
It
Let's
is
move
good,
on.
though.
What else we got going on?
Okay, I got a DM. I feel like this might be tea. I feel like we might have an exclusive.
Oh my!
Mm.
You know, they announced the Golden Bachelor, Gary from Indiana.
Who's got dirt on Gary?
You got dirt on Carrie?
I got dirt on Gary.
Oh, no.
I got dirt on Gary.
on Gary.
Oh.
So I got a message from someone whose dad
I
worked
haven't even
with him.
approved of that. Okay, go ahead.
So this was like
You got
this,
a message
this
from.
girl
Okay, I'm sorry.
was-
I'm just shut the fuck up. Start over.
politely. Okay. This girl who DM'd me, this person who DM'd me, her dad, I believe, knew someone who worked with him or like whatever. So it's like the dads are all around the same age. And the DM said, so apparently his wife died in 2017 and he was having an affair with another woman at work before she died, then lost his job with the company because he left an inappropriate voicemail for a woman at work and accidentally got sent to the whole company. My dad says he's a slime ball.
Who's got that voicemail?
We need the voicemail.
We need the voicemail.
We need the voicemail.
How is it? But has this been verified? Are we just?
I like to trust
spreading
the
a dirty?
people who DM me.
Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
So it's
It
an
seems
allegation.
very specific.
It's an
Again,
allegation.
Hard
It's
to verify,
unproven.
but I wanted the people to know.
I have specific bullshit things said about me daily.
But I'm also
I
like,
second that.
what was that voicemail? like, do you think he was moaning and groaning?
Hey, baby. I just want you to know when I get off of this work here. I don't know why I went by you. I don't know why I went like.
You got
New
inspired by
Orleans.
the episode.
Is it?
Yeah, you were that boat driver at the theater.
Yeah.
I think she likes one of them more than the other
Yeah. If she don't pick none of them, I'm ready. That's what he said.
I was like, this man is not media trained.
It's like, I like this guy. He's fun.
Gary's 71. How can he not have a little couple like skeletons in his closet?
Yeah, but that was when his wife was alive. That's
Yeah, especially if he's gonna play like the widower card hard.
Well, because he's like, here's this photo of my wife, and she would love me doing this process. And I'm like, oh no, Gary.
No, hold on. All right. So the accusation is what again? That he was cheating on his wife before he left her. Did he leave her? Did they get divorced, or did
She died.
she passed?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do we know how she left this earth?
Heartbreak. Just kidding. I don't know.
She heard the voicemail and instantly passed away.
Because maybe it was one of those things where she was like unable to perform
What?
like love. And maybe she was like, I want you to go have your needs met. And maybe they had an open
relationship.
How do we
Yeah.
know?
But what about the voicemail and getting fired from your job?
Well, that has nothing to do with consent from his wife in terms
Yeah.
of an open relationship. That just might be like, hey, Gary, I know your wife approves of you like slinging it, but like HR doesn't.
Yeah.
How does the fact that a voicemail is getting like disseminated to an entire
Yeah, how
company
is that
is pretty
being
crazy.
transferred?
Yeah, also correct. That's a great question. Is that even possible?
It doesn't make any sense.
How does a voicemail?
I'm gonna see if I can send a.
You
and
can.
You
this is-
can.
You can on an iPhone, but this might have been before iPhone.
Oh, maybe you try to
times.
like connect to her like
There's no way Gary would
her
have been able
line?
to even accidentally send a voicemail to his entire phone book.
Not his entire phone book, but like, what if he
to
called the
phones.
restaurant
Yeah.
and everybody heard it?
Wait, the restaurant.
Because he worked in restaurants.
Oh.
Oh,
He's a restaurateur.
Right.
Oh.
That is a red flag.
Yeah.
That he's a
Just in
restaurateur,
general,
yes.
like,
people be fucking.
yeah, it's just like part of your DNA to like live in that industry.
People be fucking is
They
wild.
do.
At restaurants?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And Tony passed away from an illness, is what the articles say. It doesn't say what
Oh.
illness.
Tony.
I said, what was it last week? I cannot wait for people to start like, coming out with receipts.
And they did.
And it took a week.
Took a week.
Man,
Man, this world is
Gary.
evil sometimes. Can't have
Well,
something nice.
I-
They can come for you.
I'm going to say there's a lot of suspect information here. One being this voicemail that sounds like an email or a text.
I can see a mass email.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
How do you send a mass voicemail?
Well,
Do you want me to ask?
Well, maybe it was like the phone lines.
The fact that she said,
They
my
don't know how to
dad
use
says
voice
he's a
memos.
slime ball.
Okay, so
I
third
believe
part.
that.
Why?
Because that's
Well, we
such a
should
dad thing to
go to
say.
the dad.
He's a slime ball.
Because he was the coworker, so he
Maybe
got the
he's
voicemail.
jealous of Gary and that great head of hair.
Yeah.
Gary has a better head of hair than most 29-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean,
People will be jealous.
yeah, that could be it.
You know what? Team Gary so far.
Yeah.
wow.
I hope the rumors aren't true about the infidelity, but this is an unverified rumor.
It's my job to report.
Is the account in which you received said DM, does it even look
Does it have a real
like
picture?
a person?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a
No,
cartoon.
she and I go way back. We're best
Did you
friends.
respond to her?
No.
Okay.
So someone I know up in San Francisco follows her, I think.
So you kind of know this person?
Yeah.
they have a mutual.
Yeah.
That helps. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. Someone I know follows her.
And her dad has worked with Gary.
Yeah.
Gotta tell you, Indiana ain't
So
the
it's
best
a
state.
message from her friend whose dad worked for him.
Worked for Gary.
With him. Sorry, with.
With or for? That
With.
matters. With.
Message from a friend whose dad worked with him.
Do we work with or for you?
You work
For.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I presumed, but
I hope that on a daily basis it feels like you work with me, but technically
ultimately,
you work for me.
Certainly for
And, there is, again, a power dynamic. And in this situation, there's always like, is there an axe to grind? They weren't equals. And, you complain up, right? You usually don't complain down.
Right.
My boss fucking sucks, whatever, shit like that.
I trust her.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Gary, I hope the rumors. I'm gonna choose to want to believe Gary at this point. It's the mass voicemail that doesn't quite add up for me.
Bachelor Nation will find out. That's for sure. So,
Yeah.
But if we could maybe get some more details, because we don't like a rumor mill, so to speak. Can't imagine dealing with trolling at 71.
Oh, no way. That would suck.
Yeah. But I feel like he could truly unplug in a way that maybe people who are of a
I hope so.
younger generation couldn't. Like,
True, right?
He
Like,
made that Instagram.
He made it
Mm.
Instagram.
He made an
His
Instagram.
daughters made it Instagram. I bet. Do you really think Gary's on Reddit like you?
I'm
You're on
not
Reddit.
on Reddit, man. I never check.
You never check,
I do feel like Reddit is becoming the new Facebook.
huh?
What?
I feel like I have a lot of friends who like use Reddit for like fun social media browsing. Maybe
What
the
do
new
you
Twitter.
mean?
The new Twitter is what I mean instead.
What do you
I just feel like since Twitter has been a controversial like
you mean
shift.
X.com?
Is that what it's called now?
Yeah, he literally switched it yesterday.
Oh.
It's X.com now.
I just think
Oh
it's
my.
hilarious how people like care so
Are
much
they going to
about
update the app?
like
I think I can imagine if you guys look right now.
you changed. It's not a
changed.
tweet. It's an X. And it's silly. Who cares? I just don't know
Yeah.
why people care.
Fair.
Anyways,
I'm with
Reddit.
you on that.
There's some good stuff on Reddit. There's like the Today I Learned, like Am I the Asshole stuff. Like there's some good stuff on Reddit. I understand that
It's like
there's like
any
a very
social media
toxic
platform, there's good and bad stuff. Unfortunately, it's a place where people go and spew toxicity. It's where they go to feel better about themselves
Right.
and talk shit about others.
There's some beautiful communities on Reddit though. I was part of
Yeah.
the census community when I was waiting for my census job to start in 2020.
I mean, like
didn't know.
anything, there's helpful information, like
Yeah.
recipes and
Yeah.
things like that. Drizzly is the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery to your doorstep right when you want it. That's right. Drizzly is making it easier than ever before to make sure that if you run out of that beer, wine, and spirits, the fun doesn't have to run out as well. No. You just download the Drizzly app. You go in and you look at their just what feels like an unlimited selection of all these different types of wines and beers. And so if you're someone who likes to try different things, such a great variety, they almost certainly will have your favorites and the ones that you love. It's so convenient. At Drizzly, so many great use cases. Again, whether you're going to a party or the party runs out, or maybe you just want to send a nice little hey, sorry, I couldn't make it to your party gift, or maybe you're sitting at home, the weather isn't cooperating. You know what? You're cooking a fancy steak and you want to have a nice glass of wine, but you realize you forgot it at the grocery store. You don't have it here. You just go to Drizzly, you order up your favorite wine, and maybe again, you try a new wine from a new region. It's something to talk about with your friends. Either way, it's easy, convenient, and fast. That's right. With delivery to your doorstep in under 60 minutes. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com, drizzly.com for your favorite drinks. Here is your free beauty and lifestyle hack for this episode. That's right. FabFitFun is the best way to save money on beauty and lifestyle products from the brands you love. Discover new brands and treat yourself to something nice without overpaying. As a FabFitFun member, you will get exclusive access to shop thousands of curated products from top lifestyle products and brands like Fenty, Kate Spade, Glacier, and more from up to 70% off. That's right. These aren't sample sizes. No. They're not low-quality products either, or the discontinued lines of unsold merch where you find at discount stores. What is FabFitFun's secret? Well, with over 1 million members, FabFitFun helps brands growth by placing massive orders with big promotions. That's right.
I also think what's really cool about FabFitFun is that if you get something in your box that you really love and you want to get more of, or you want to integrate it into your beauty routine, or maybe you got a fragrance that you really love the smell of, you can go in and still use their high discounts on those same products. So you're not just given that one and then you're done. You can go back and shop and use their up to 70% off on all these great brands. So the savings just keep happening, even if you want more of what's in your box.
Sign up at fabfitfun.com/VIALL. Customize your box. Get access to discounts up to 70% off on brands like Fenty, Free People, and Our Place, just to name a few. Not in love with this season's options? Take the credit to shop their exclusive flash sales up to 70% and save on the biggest name brands out there. If you join FabFitFun as a new seasonal member right now, you'll get up to 20% off your membership. So your first box is only $47.99 for up to a $300 value box each season, but only while supplies last. FabFitFun boxes sell out. Join FabFitFun today and save at fabfitfun.com/VIALL. That's fabfitfun.com/VIALL.
Speaking of social media,
Mhm.
Charity
And Twitter.
has been tweeting.
Is she live tweeting?
Yeah, she said she tweeted 6 days ago, so I'm guessing it was last week's episode.
Yeah, this is her live tweeting.
Did you not come on the show knowing it was the Bachelorette? Make it make sense.
So
Hashtag
she's,
The Bachelor.
I assume, sub-tweeting Braden here when he was
Yeah.
going home. I think Charity is the most entertaining Bachelorette since Hannah Brown.
I agree with that.
I would say, yeah.
Here's why. Because I think Charity has been gracious and giving enough to show us Charity the dater and not Charity the therapist.
Yes.
I think when Charity was casted as the Bachelorette, for anyone who was like, oh, she seems like a wonderful, well-rounded person, but will this be captivating television? I think the concern was, here's this family therapist and they're just going to be grounded and thoughtful and they're going to work through all their issues very rationally and very maturely. And Charity has been very vulnerable and kind of showing us Charity the dater. And this is a dating show. And you're seeing the most authentic reactions, even in this episode when Xavier's like, I don't know if I can get there. Her like eyes, just like her eye roll of annoyance to Xavier was just, she's just very generous with her expressions. You kind of know always what Charity is thinking with her body language, her reactions, her verbal cues, and things like that. And so she's leading from the heart, so to speak, which makes excellent television. I am surprised, though, by this tweet in the sense that, like, you know, being the lead is so hard in so many different ways, right? And one of the ways that isn't often talked about is the pressure that the lead feels to be liked by the people vying for your heart. I think both the Bachelor and Bachelorettes feel that pressure. I think that pressure is probably even more intense for the Bachelorettes. One thing that the audience judges all the leads for is the presumed decisions of like who they keep around and who they send home. Many of which, again, is like their decision, like the 3 or 4 people they actually like in the developing relationships. But then there's a bunch of other people that they're just like waiting to send home, and then they get judged for it, right? So I get the defensiveness, you know, around that, because it sucks. It's just like, why'd you keep so and so? It's like, I didn't, like, just give it a week, you know? Who gives a shit, you know? Give it a week. But to me, this tweet isn't Charity the therapist. This is Charity the dater.
Mm-hmm.
Because like she's literally saying, make it make sense. Okay, let's try. Braden showed up for an experience that he was told what it was. I'm assuming maybe he did some homework, maybe he didn't, about what the Bachelorette is. And then he showed up into a completely staged and controlled environment that was unlike anything else he's ever experienced in his life. He showed up. Now, imagine the show. Imagine the Bachelorette or the Bachelor. Instead of being what it is, imagine if every contestant got to bring their therapist. You know, they showed up and they're like, you know, this is my therapist, you know. But instead, in this bizarro universe, that Charity wasn't the Bachelorette. Let's say it was Gabby. And let's say that Braden's therapist was Charity. He's like, this is my therapist, Charity. And so instead of Charity the dater showing up, Charity the therapist showed up. Do you think Charity the therapist, when Braden would be like, hey, listen, like, I really like this girl. I'm a little uncomfortable about like, this is not what I expect. I'm having a hard time dating this person who's also dating other people. Like, I'm having a hard time with it. But I do like her. I want to continue to get to know her. I want to take things slow. But if I'm being honest, I know there's a lot of guys around me who are already talking about getting down on one knee, but like, I just want to be honest with her about where I'm at. And where I'm at is like, I'm not sure if I can get down on one knee yet. It's only week 3. And when he's asked about like what you want out of this relationship, he's like, I just want contentment. Do you think Charity the therapist would criticize him for those words and choices? Or do you think she would be like, you know what you signed up for? I feel like Charity the therapist would commend Braden for that kind of thoughtfulness and kind of slow to react and like being in touch with his feelings and a willingness to be honest in the face of pressure from a bunch of peers who are kind of shaming him into essentially, you know, love bombing themselves so that they can love bomb the lead into thinking their feelings are further along than they actually are.
Yeah, because she would have a level of detachment. It's not like we watch her throughout the season. And even I feel like with Xavier this past episode, like these little things that are pressing on her insecurities and the things she's gone through in the past.
Yeah.
And so she views it as a very like personal attack that someone can't envision a life with her or they're not sure, as opposed to her working as a therapist where she'd be able to just see things from like a much more analytical, bigger perspective.
No, it's really great because also like when people have asked me a lot too, you know, when my time on the show, and what I say often, especially in the past couple of years, that when I went on The Bachelor, I felt like I relapsed. In my 20s, I was a serial monogamous. I had my heart broken a bunch of times. I've been cheated on. I had a lot of like painful relationship stories that Charity also has, right? And to get myself through those experiences, I read a lot. I did a lot of self-help. I did a lot of reflection. I felt like I really matured and found myself. And while I didn't go to school to become a therapist like Charity, I felt like I really had a better understanding of my own choices and just healthier choices when it comes to relationships and dating. And then I go on The Bachelor, and that show very much mimics what it's like to fall in love as a young person. They promote reactive decision making. They promote just like, if it feels good, go for it, just like live in the moment. Don't overthink it. And when I got in that world, I was just like, I don't know what to expect, but like, I'm just going to like immerse myself in this world. And so I felt like instead of being the 33-year-old who had really lived and learned and had these ups and downs, I felt like I overnight in that world turned into 20-year-old Nick, who is reactive, who really, gave into my ego, who is just, led with my insecurities and things like that. And it's just, I don't know if that's what I'm curious. Fast forward a year or two from now, what perspective Charity will have on her time as the Bachelorette. And if she feels like her decision making was more in line with who she was as a younger person or who she is now, having been someone who's been educated in therapy and things like that. Because to me, a lot of her tweets and a lot of her choices are Charity the dater, not Charity the therapist, which again, I think makes for an incredibly entertaining season.
I do think if you're a man on the show who's 25 or younger, you're guilty until proven innocent instead of innocent until proven guilty with like right reasons motives. Just because I think there's like with kind of like societal general norms. And that's not to say like I'm sure there's some men who get married at 23 and are so ready and committed. But in general, I feel like there's just something like, like we saw it with like Johnny on Paradise and in Gabby season. And like, I think that's part of the thing with him, with Braden now, is that he's so young. So that it's like, you kind of 24.
He's 24?
Yeah. But, and that's the thing, like two things can be true at the same time, right? The earrings, obnoxious. He definitely comes across as a fuckboy, but at the same time, in his final episode, to me, he was the only one making sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And say what you want about like you if you showed up, like why? Because to me, it's Charity the fan. A lot of these people who go on the show, not all. I don't know how much Charity has watched The Bachelor. I suspect maybe a bit that she was a fan before. Who knows? I could be wrong. Because again, I don't think Charity the therapist would be subtweeting Braden months after she left the show. Also, keep in mind, I'm guessing Charity's in a relationship right now. Imagine if Charity is currently engaged and still a little bit rattled that Braden sent himself home, that she felt the need to kind of subtweet him and critique his behavior on the show, which essentially was letting Charity know that he's not sure if this process is for him, and that after going on a couple dates with Charity, he still wasn't sure if he can get down on one knee. I mean, and unless I'm missing something, remind me of what was wrong with that Braden did, other than being a little kind of goofy and coming across as maybe not taking it seriously. What's his biggest crime?
Well, I think Charity's I don't think he committed a crime, to be clear, but I think maybe Charity's reaction is contextualized by the fact that he was talking to the men a lot about it before talking to her. And so I think maybe part of it was this like, wait, what? Like, are you talking shit behind my back? Or probably this like fear of like, oh no, what if when I'm not there, these men aren't taking it seriously? Like they're not invested in this process.
Spring break.
But again, I can understand why in filming, the leads kept in the blinds so much. But now watching it back, I got to see what I saw was Braden constantly being asked by these guys and interrogated by these guys. And then him just being like almost too honest, being like, I don't know, like she seems great, but like, I've only talked to her for 20 minutes. So I guess we'll see. And they're like, you're not upset. You don't love her? Like that's your, like these guys, most of these guys get out of the limo. And if they said, do you think Charity's the one? They would say yes, which is obviously just a bold-faced lie. And in any other aspect of the world, we live in a society now that if someone says, I love you too fast, we all point the finger and accuse them of love bombing. And then we'll accuse them of things, we'll say some strong accusations about their behavior. But in Bachelor world, if you don't do that, somehow you're the bad guy.
I just think, and don't get me wrong here, as a contestant, the strategies and strategic things about it. I think it's a strategy. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's intelligent. He's smart. He knows that this route, he can't look bad on either way because he's always been upfront. He's always been honest, but at the same time, he's telling Charity, I probably won't be ready for this. So like, you should probably send me home. But if you send me home, I get broken up with and I look good. So like
that might be true. We can only guess. We don't know for sure.
And that's that's just the guess I have. I'm like, all right, well, I know what you're trying to do. Like I've seen people try to do it before. Like it's not like anything crazy.
Did end up sending himself home though.
Yeah, and I don't think, and then he came back because
Sure.
I don't think he liked the way he was leaving.
You
So,
don't
he's
think
like pack it back on. You
you
know what I
don't
mean?
think it was possible that a producer came to his hotel room and said, "Hey, man,
of course.
okay, you think he was wrong for taking like that opportunity to like
No.
maybe leave on a better note?"
No, I don't think anything's wrong. I think it was performative in a way. Like it's not like
Maybe.
he was
Yeah.
super like, well, I just know I'm not really. You're just not that into her yet. Let's talk how it is.
As opposed to what? He
I
said,
just never thought he was really that into her.
so you think he should have said, "I'm just not that into you"?
Well, that was really what he was. That's what I thought he felt.
Sure.
Instead, he tried to give it the long, like, well, it's not realistic, and this is how I feel. Like, I like that's just stuff. I just like it's reverse psychology. You want to make it seem like,
yeah, I hear you.
yeah.
And it definitely came across as he comes across as a fuck boy who knows how to talk to women, but we don't necessarily know for sure. And is it any less
No.
strategic than any of the guys claiming that they are ready to get down on
No,
one knee?
absolutely not. Yeah, it's the
You
same.
know.
It's the same thing. It's just different.
Yeah,
There's different
totally.
ways people go about it, and that's why I'm like, I mean, I don't have a problem. Like he did what he did. Like that's the way he wanted to do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But like, I'm not gonna crown him for anything. Like,
I'm not crowning him.
Yeah,
I'm just
no, I mean, like-
I'm just more surprised that Charity, the therapist,
right.
2 or 3 months after leaving the show, presumably engaged with someone else, would still be like,
Talking
I'm
about it.
surprised it wouldn't be more like, you know what? I wish Braden well. He's ended up being not my person, but I honestly appreciate him being upfront about his feelings. Like I applaud a self-aware person, and I'm not everyone's going to like me. I'm not going to like everyone else. And we are just two people who, rather than like be like, what you signed up for, make it make sense.
Well, and it's also like we're in this era of The Bachelor where it's social media and tied. So I feel like it's like almost like promoting the show in a way.
Sure.
Where she's like trying to gather the fans to kind of talk about it in a way. So like that's kind of how I see it. I think she's just like trying to be like, am I right, guys? Like, look at this. Like, look what I got put through, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it was like actually her like feeling some type of way, like deep about Braden. I think she's completely over it. Like, I just think she just wants something to talk about with while she's live tweeting.
It kind of reminds me of when Gabby, and I think she was breaking up with Jason, and like she had this line that like really stuck out to me where she was like, can't you just play along for a fucking second? Where like, to me, like Gabby was so emotionally mature and just like a very like, I was so impressed with her the whole time. And that really made sense to me of being like, yes, as like clear-headed adults, we can say that this process like doesn't have a super high success rate, that it is a little bonkers, but there's also a level of vulnerability of just like diving in and like trying your best and playing along. And I
Yes.
think maybe Charity is just like, I wish you'd like tried a little more.
Try.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's all it is. And I think that's what I think you get the most out of it from the guys and who actually feel something. Like I think for myself, I was just like, well, let's just fully like buy into the system and see how it goes. And then you start to notice some things like, oh wow, this person's actually this and this and that. Like I didn't know who Katie was. Like I wasn't like, you know what I mean? So I just bought in, and next thing you know, you start to form a connection. Like, and then if it really wasn't it, you send yourself home. And like I'm not really feeling it. That's the way Braden should have went, instead of like, I don't think I'm gonna get on a knee here. I'm like, well, you're on the Bachelorette. Like either you try it, and if you can't do it, you take
I guess
yourself
I'm
out.
a little confused as to what you're saying he should have done versus what he did.
Because I think what he did was he tried to create like an exit strategy in a way, like a scapegoat, it just felt like there were like he was playing so many games on the back end to make sure he comes out all right. It's very strategic, and that's why I was just like, I don't know if you're actually just going through the process. He's like making different ways, like different ripples. I just was like, that's just not. I don't know. That's just not how I feel it should have been going
Interesting.
down.
Feel like there was people on your season that you watched do that and try to figure that out.
Yeah, they're like they try navigating like the fact of like, well, come on, like how can you guys be following like this is? I'm like, that's fine, like that's how you're feeling, you know what I mean? And I feel like he tried to like at least like these guys are doing this, like it's not realistic. And I've seen that argument happen so many times on like from the fans just watching and being like, he's being right. Like, how can you fall in love? It's only been 2 months, 1 month. Well, just let them fall in, like let them do it. Like no one's saying you have to. And like the fact the way he was going about it was trying to make it seem like I'm being honest with you. But yeah, like, yeah, you're being honest with me. Then go
He's also
home.
being asked. But so wait, you think you have to go, like if you show up, and keep in mind, this was all going on in the first couple weeks.
Right.
And you think if someone doesn't step out of a limo and proclaim their love and loyalty and commitment to, if Charity or whoever the lead is picks me, I will get engaged. Do you think they're doing it wrong?
Well, no, I just don't think you know yet. I mean, find out when you get there.
But he had a couple dates and was like, I like her.
Yeah, but then he just started throwing out stuff that she didn't ask you. You think you can get on a knee? It was more so.
He was being asked. You know
Did
how
she-
it works. You know how it works in that world.
Yeah.
You're either being asked by your peers or you're being either asked by producers. No one's ever just like walking into a room being like,
You're
you know
right.
what I think?
Right, you're right.
No,
right.
they're always being asked, and then
Yeah.
it's edited into like making it seem like you can't shut the fuck up.
Well, it just felt like he really leaned into
Being the center of attention.
being like,
I mean, sure, the earring for sure.
yeah, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way that he's right, but at the same time, like
He rubbed me the wrong way too, but
he
I just
knows he's right, and he's trying to use it to an excuse his behavior. And I'm like, dude, just
okay.
buy
But when
into
you
it.
say behavior, other than the earrings, and I guess because what he was is a little obnoxious for some people,
Right.
and he wasn't being earnest. He wasn't showing, and maybe that's his personality to be like, okay, can we fall in love and have fun at the same time? Do we have to show up and be so fucking heavy?
It's
Yeah.
like he wasn't being earnest, but he was being performative. You know, and he was
Yeah.
like eating the mushrooms on the group date and stuff.
for sure. Yeah, it was a bit obnoxious at times, for sure. But like when you say his behavior as if he was doing something wrong, I'm just objectively, I'm agreeing with you with my annoyance. But when we start critiquing someone and start saying and suggesting that they were wrong or bad, I'm sure Braden has gotten a bunch of like trolling accounts
Right,
and a lot of
absolutely.
negative criticism and a lot, unfortunately it happens in this world. I just like,
I didn't say he was wrong. I just was like, I peep your game. I see what you tried to do.
okay.
Yeah, it's like not critiquing like behavior, just vibes.
Yeah,
kind of
I'm just
thing.
like,
Yeah.
I like.
No,
we
he's a
can, we can
definitely-
see what you're doing.
he's a Yeah, I mean, he comes across as a fuckboy who, but like I couldn't imagine you can't show up and be like, listen, I'm just not into you.
yeah,
He would be called an asshole.
right.
Like, listen, I'm not feeling it at all.
No, but I mean, like, give it a try. But like, then he'd go on like, I can't believe she picked that guy for a 1-on-1, and then I'm like, you just what? Like,
Like, which is it?
which is it, man? Like, you're overly obsessed in a way, but then at the same time, like, it's just so weird to me. It was just like, it's just not really making sense.
No. All right. Well, before we get into the episode, what other tea do we have pop culture wise, or do we have Bachelor stuff?
We have some more Bachelor. I am a bit confused of if Matt James's mom is going on the Golden Bachelor
I don't know.
because,
Like,
but
you know?
Rachel and Matt have been asked.
They
and
don't even know.
Rachel says, we truly, truly, truly don't know. We don't know if she's on it or not.
well, that's a lie.
Right? So does that mean yes? How do you not know?
That is a bizarre thing to say.
That's a crazy thing
Yeah.
to say.
that you
Yeah.
don't know if your mom is on.
Where else would she be?
Yeah. She went missing for a few months. We're not sure exactly
That makes
where.
me seem like she might be, or again, not answering questions just for the fun of it.
Trolling
So-
the internet.
She's trolling
Trolling
the
the
internet.
internet.
Filling the internet.
All right. Well, Joe and Serena are having Wells officiate their wedding. Thought that was
Awesome.
very cute. And Dotun did an interview about going on The Bachelorette. He said, I got on the show only 2 weeks before filming started. It was a really short timeline, one of the shortest I've been told. It was just happenstance that someone dropped out and I jumped in at that 2-week point. I was going back and forth on the process during those 2 weeks and I was unsure if I was going to go through with it. It was so last minute that I didn't have time to think about it a lot.
Damn.
So he was
Well,
like an understudy.
no, I think it
He
happens.
was an alternate.
I mean, it happens. I mean, I think on Caitlin's season, I remember Ben Zorn. I don't know if you guys remember him,
Mhm.
fan favorite at the time. Was a very much last minute cast. So they're casting all the way.
Yeah, to
Up
the end.
until night one, they are open
Yeah.
to being surprised, and it doesn't always happen. But yeah, I think given how significant of a role and arguably the favorite of charities and presumed pick by many people, I still think definitely Xavier. But yeah, compelling story. What else we got? Is there non-Bachelor news going on in the world?
Some pop culture news. Yeah.
Need a break from reality? Reality got you down? Well, cheer up, Buttercup, because Paramount Plus has your great reality escape. Escape into new seasons of the biggest competitions like Survivor, Big Brother, and the Challenge World Championship with the boldest personalities from the family Stallone, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, and Queen of the Universe, and the wildest drama like Are You the One? Plus hundreds of previous seasons, all streaming at your fingertips. See, reality ain't so bad. Your great reality escape is with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus, stream now. One of my favorite celebrity chefs is Gordon Ramsay. In fact, I pride myself in how to cook a mean steak, and it was a Gordon Ramsay YouTube video that really helped me kind of solidify my steak making skills. Well, Gordon Ramsay is here to tell you all about hex-clad cookware. It's what he uses at home. I mean, like if Gordon Ramsay is going to use pots and pans, then who are we to question Gordon Ramsay? Well, if you want to cook just like Gordon Ramsay, look no further than hex-clad. That's right. Hex-clad 6-piece set is the perfect starter set to enjoy the incredibly versatility of their products. The set features 3 of their most popular pans with accompanying lids that can handle all your pan cooking needs, whether it's eggs, burgers, steaks, or sauces. Your kitchen will never be the same. Hex-clad products are already an amazing value, but all of their products are also backed by a lifetime warranty. That's right. You will literally never have to buy another set of pots and pans for the rest of your life, which, let's hope, is a really long time. I just started using Hex-clad really and been enjoying my experience, and I really felt like I was cooking with Gordon. And you can too. Hex-clad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They are metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe for up to 500 degrees. They are non-toxic and induction ready, and even has a stay cool handle so you can saute with ease. Very important.
Listen, I've been known to cook a girl dinner every now and then, which is to say not cook anything at all. Having a really nice pan makes it so much more motivating to actually cook myself dinner.
Some would say that Gordon Ramsay is the toughest critic in the world, and these are the pots and pans he uses. Get 10% off with code VIALL at hexclad.com. That's HEXCLAD.com. That's 10% off at hexclad.com with code VIALL. Bon appetit. Let's eat with Hexclad Revolutionary Cookware.
So we have some updates on Rachel and James's dog, Graham. You know, we
no longer Graham.
Well, yeah.
Name change.
We talked about the fact that Graham was given back to James after being turned into a shelter. Some people had questions about that, where the dog had been while Rachel/Raquel was in her treatment facility or in her mental health facility. And so apparently Graham was with Laura, Rachel's mom. And Laura said she claimed she visited 2 doctors who both suggested that the dog should be put to sleep because it, quote unquote, bit her to the bone.
Who said this?
Raquel's mom said that Graham bit her to the bone, and that's why it had to be rehomed.
I call bullshit.
Well, Ariana did say on an interview that she did, she said as an aside, she was like, and Raquel's dog is horribly trained.
What kind
When
of
did she say this?
Like a
It
golden
was on Call Her
doodle.
Daddy.
To the bone is nuts.
Yeah, first of all, to the bone? What bone?
Laura shared
the
a photo
finger.
of her injury with the outlet in which she had a bloody gash on the side of her pointer finger.
Oh.
Okay.
Small bone. Yeah.
You can bite your
You can bite
bone.
to
small
that.
bone.
You don't do anything
Because like to the
digits.
bone, like she has a golden doodle, and like they don't really have a strong bite in my
No,
experience.
that's what I was like.
And so to get to the bone, even on your finger, they would really have to be hanging on as you're wiggling your. I don't know.
But I do think, like, why would the mom lie about this? You know, like,
The
I feel like
bone?
that would be.
What? I always find it humorous when people say things like, "Why would X lie about anything else?" People lie all the. First of all, I could give you a bunch of reasons why. She doesn't want to be shamed for giving her dog away. There's your motivation. But people lie for
That's
no reason all the
dark,
time.
though, to put a dog in a home like that.
People do.
Well,
it
she
every
said
day.
she visited 2 doctors who suggested that the dog should be put to sleep Laura then said that
are these
they
vicious people?
absolutely declined the option and instead sought a rehabilitation center where Graham could learn better behavior
Oh, okay.
How old is he? Is
from
it
an
a puppy?
established trainer at the
No.
California Doodle Rescue.
It's not a puppy. It's
No.
like a.
I mean, it might be a young lad, like a rebellious teenager at this point.
So then the California Doodle Rescue tried to get him rehomed. Then Graham allegedly bit his new owner, and the dog was returned to the rescue. And that's when Lisa Vanderpump and her Vanderpump Dogs Rescue Organization were then enlisted to help find another home.
I wonder if James's temperament will be good for this new dog.
Oh, so this dog is off the rip. So she wasn't lying.
No. Well, I mean, there's some receipts.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, I don't doubt that he might be poorly.
He's unhinged.
It would not be shocking to find out that Rachel might not have that Rachel might not have been the most attentive dog mom.
Yeah,
Not
it's hard
strike
when you're
me as
sneaking around
mind-blowing.
having an affair
Yeah,
to take care of a
that-
dog
I will
too.
say, I've seen her walk. She was walking him. They seemed like they were doing well.
Okay. I mean, I don't, but anyway. So what's the dog's new name?
Hippie,
Hippie.
no longer Graham.
New
Cracker.
name, new personality.
I gotta say, I don't
No
know.
biting. You're a
No
hippie
biting.
now.
I don't know if I love. Obviously, I don't know if the Graham to hippie is my favorite transition.
I
But
wonder if the dog knows.
well,
It's
I find
hippie
that
now.
dogs have multiple names. Like Jeff's name is Jeff, obviously, but he's also Mr. Man, furry guy,
Mr.
buddy,
Man.
Um,
Hey, Mr.
furry chicken man. He's often referred
Wait,
to.
you call your dog Chicken Man too?
He does
Natalie
like a
often
fried
does. Yeah.
chicken. He do look like one of those
Um,
fried chickens.
Sounds so good.
Jeff has multiple names, so he responds to many.
Hippie though.
Hippie.
But James said, we've decided to rename this little beauty Hippie. This is a tribute to my late godfather, George Michael's dog's name. Okay, so not, okay. The
George
only
Michael.
dog I
Like the George
saw
Michael?
around
Yeah.
the house
As
growing up.
his godfather. Yeah.
Although George and Hippie are in heaven now, I know they're watching over me, a proud doggy papa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
I
He's
feel like
invoking dog heaven.
a snippy golden doodle is easy to retrain.
Yeah. The question is like, do people have the? If I don't know very much about dog training. It seems like there's certain cases where it's like it's totally easy to do. You just need to have the expertise required to do it.
The patience as well.
Ugh.
That's the thing. It's a lack of patience that most people don't have.
I bet James has the biggest smile on his face. Like I bet he is so pleased with the way this all unfolded.
It's a win for him, for sure.
Huge W.
Big W.
Big W.
Oh my gosh.
While simultaneously giving your ex another L.
yeah.
What else we got?
Kevin Costner. We've been following Kevin Costner's divorce. Kevin Costner's wife is on vacation in Hawaii with his friend in the middle of their divorce.
And when you say friend,
Kevin Costner's estranged wife, Christine Baumgartner, turned to a family friend for comfort on a Hawaiian vacation while temporarily escaping the drama of their divorce. The 49-year-old was spotted in new photos taking in a scenic seaside stroll on the beach with Costner's friend Josh Connor walking by her side. He is a well-heeled financier who lives near the Yellowstone Stars mansion in California. And he's also gone through a divorce recently. So, maybe a little...
Trauma
so do we
rebound.
think it's some shadiness, or do we think Kevin's like, hey man, he's calling in a favor to try to find a mediation of sorts, where it's just like, here's a mutual friend, and he's just like, hey man, I know Kevin's kind of like, Kev being Kev, a little difficult, little A-list personality. I know he sucks, but let's all try to be happy. Do you think it's more that, or do you
I don't think you'd have to go to Hawaii for that conversation to happen. I think they're neighbors. He could just stop by.
so they're vacationing together?
Yeah.
So we think shadiness.
I also think it would make sense if I feel like, and this could totally be the way that it's being painted like in the media, but it seems like there's been a lot of contention about like finances, and she's been worried about her security and her ability to like maintain her lifestyle and that for her kids. So to me, the fact that like this man just happens to be like a very affluent banker, it would make sense to me that like that could be
That's
a
the
really
picture?
This is
Yeah.
appealing quality at this time where there's a lot of
That's a romantic getaway. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but that's not Kevin's friend anymore.
No, no.
Wow.
No.
The drama continues with these two.
Yeah.
I'll gotta say, this makes her a little more guilty in my eyes. These people know how being a celebrity works, and they know when they're being photographed by paparazzi. If they're doing things where they don't want to be seen, they know how to not be seen. And if they're doing things that get caught in public, and listen, I get living your life. Like, just because not every time you get shot by a paparazzi, like, paparazzi in LA hanging around certain places, a lot of coffee shops, some coffee shops, to which I like. Sometimes they just show up there. But I will say, if I were hanging out with someone and I was like, I don't like when Nellie and I first started dating, right? And we were like, let's just focus on us. Let's not make this a public thing. I definitely avoided certain places where I know like certain people might be. Or if you are hanging out and if you're going through a divorce and you're hanging out with your ex-husband's best friend and you want to make sure like we don't start any rumors, you don't take long shirtless walks on the beach while you are in the midst of a high-profile public divorce with one of the more legendary, famous actors of their generation. You do it on purpose.
Yeah.
And don't we think that, given that makes her a little messy?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I also, it seems like so much of the issue is like, his career always coming first and her maybe feeling like family did not, and like that he never paid attention to her. So I could totally see her being like, pay attention to me now, bitch.
I guess.
But is her family with her? Doubt it. So
No,
she left the kids.
Maybe she's
Probably.
using that.
Or she's using
Lumps.
that $250,000 monthly stipend to like hire a nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the children.
For
Yeah.
the kids.
For the
you know?
kids.
She might have, yeah. I don't know. I wonder if part of this is like that she would have been like really fucking lonely. And I know a lot of people are lonely, so that's not to say it's like she's uniquely lonely, but like it seems like it could be an incredibly isolating situation, like trying to raise your kids, manage a 3-ring circus of like, I'm sure she's very blessed to have staff in her house, but also like that means there's a lot to going on. And so I feel like maybe like when you're lonely and you have the opportunity to not be, you kind of are like a little less discerning about what's okay, because you're just like, you know what, it's been so long, I felt so isolated, god damn it, I deserve human connection, even if it's with my separated partner's ex-friend.
But for $250,000 a month, you can pay for privacy.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely like oh, you notice that?
Yeah. Anyways.
Speaking of another scandal, not really scandal, but something we've been covering, of the Miranda Lambert calling out the fans for taking a selfie, then the fans' response to how they were feeling chastised.
Has she yet to apologize?
Well, so someone just took a t-shirt or wore a t-shirt to one of her shows, and the t-shirt says, "Shoot tequila, not selfies."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And?
So the 39-year-old proceeded to grab a small bottle from the audience and took a swig before passing it to her guitarist. So I guess she's supporting the shooting of the tequila.
Is she standing by her criticism of these people?
I haven't seen her like apologize.
I think Doja Cat's got that same thing going on too as well.
What happened?
She just went off on her fans for they're calling themselves kittens.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "You're like if you're any grown person talking about you're a kitten, like you need to get off this app and get a job." And then she doubled down. She went on to say like, "We just want you to say you love your fans." She's like, "I don't love y'all. I don't know y'all." And it was like, no,
Okay.
she's going nuts on Threads. Threads.
I love you guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she couldn't do it.
I love you guys as fans. Well, again, I mean, it's one of those like, you're not wrong
Yeah.
per se, but like,
it's just a weird angle.
you know, but like, yeah, just, I love you guys.
Yeah. So that just happened yesterday, actually.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kittens.
Are you guys
Yeah.
following at all the, like, I don't know if you watched Jon and Kate +8, but
I
I was
didn't.
like one of my favorite
I
shows
met John
growing up.
once at like some sort of panel a few years back.
Okay. So Colin, who's one of the sextuplets, has started speaking out.
How old are they now?
The sextuplets they just graduated high school. They're 18.
Uh-huh.
And so he and John were on, I think Hannah was on as well, this series called like The Dark Side of the 2000s. And they kind of like lifted the curtain on like what was actually going on behind closed doors. People started noticing some like potential like a schism, because when Colin graduated high school, his caption for his like Instagram post was thanking his dad and thanking Hannah, who's one of his sisters, and I believe John's girlfriend, but like very clearly left out the other siblings, left out Kate. And so I think that's when all this kind of started coming out. And then now in this series, they're kind of talking about the fact that Colin, apparently, he was saying like he had some allegations of abuse from his mom, Kate. Kate has doubled down and said that, Colin had all these issues and the safety of their children was at risk. So Kate actually put him in an institution as like a minor. He said he spent his 13th and 14th birthdays there. John didn't know. So John went to their school one day to have lunch with the kids. and Colin just wasn't there. And
How was she able to
I
put
think-
her kid into an institution
Without
without the
John
I
consent?
think they had she had primary custody of them after their divorce.
And he had like just no say in the matter?
This is from John's retelling. He went to the school. He's like, "Where's your brother?" And then he went to a guidance counselor and she was saying, "Oh no, Colin's not enrolled here anymore." And then he got a crayon letter from Colin from this institution
He's
being like,
13?
yeah, like, come get me
Help.
out. So he's
Oh,
trying to
no.
like locate him, get him out. And then he went to go see Colin and they were like, "Oh, well, he hasn't seen a parent in like a year and a half, 2 years. Like Kate never visited him. Like he was like
That's true.
locked
That's
up."
fucked.
This
And-
is true.
So then when Hannah heard all of this, she freaked out and she was like, "Dad, I'm not going home. I don't want to live with Mom," when she went and put Colin in this. So then he's like, "You have to go home because it's going to violate our custody agreement and I'm going to get in trouble." So John spent like $1 million trying to get Colin out.
For like legal fees. I'm
Yes,
assuming.
and get Colin. He got full custody of Colin. And so it's just like
How's Colin doing now?
well, so Colin is now doing this kind of like series, was talking about the abuse allegations, but Kate is doubling down because now it's coming out of all this stuff that happened. And Kate insisted that, quote, "all measures were taken in our home were all at the explicit recommendation of his pediatric psychiatrist and or his team of specialists and were put into place to safeguard every member of our family, our friends, as well as our family pets. Colin remains a very troubled young man who continues to need a lot of help. His brothers and sisters and I have not been directly involved in his life due to his history of unpredictable behavior and violent tendencies toward us." However, John says when he went to go to the facility to get Colin out, he asked the doctor, "What is my son's diagnosis?" And the doctor said, "We're still trying to figure that out."
Well, that might be an honest answer.
Yeah. I feel like they wouldn't lie about that.
And now Maddie's posting. So Maddie's the older sister. She says,
Aren't they like not part of the 8?
yeah, so Maddie and Kara are twins.
Okay.
And then there's the sextuplets.
Okay.
But Maddie said, "I do not owe my allegiance to any persons who has physically threatened me and every member of my immediate family, some instance as recent as last year. Further, I will never allow someone who has exhibited hateful and even violent behaviors toward others based in their racial identity, gender identity, or religious beliefs to be in my life."
Is she referring to Colin?
Yes, I believe so.
So sounds like
Colin is.
Kate has some.
Yeah.
So it's just like camps divided now. So it's like John, Colin, Hannah, and then Kate and the other kids.
My biggest takeaway is how sad it is that Kate and John seem to have such a toxic relationship that their kids are used and weaponized to win the court of public opinion.
Right.
That's my big takeaway. Because it sounds like this Colin boy is probably
Going through some
trouble.
things. Yeah.
But at the same time, to lock your kid up and not throw away the key,
To not even go see him is
It's
crazy.
fucked.
Yeah.
even if, especially because if he is troubled, that's fucked. And then, yeah, I mean, I would imagine, I understand why the other children would want to keep their distance, but mom and throwing away the key
Yeah.
and not even telling dad?
John, where he's going. Yeah.
The dark side of TLC.
The dark side of the 2000.
Yuck.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be so fucked up to be one of those kids and like if they hopefully they don't, but like to watch back the show, and like have all of that captured and to like have like be like so intensely triggered for all the shit that was going on behind the scenes. Like it's just really hard to have all that
I will
documented.
say, when I met John and it was at some panel, it was like me, Rachel Lindsay, Caitlyn Jenner, John. It was a very interesting panel. I don't even know why I think we were just talking reality TV in general. But like offline, John just came across as like this broken, defeated man who just didn't really understand why his ex-wife did what she did
Mhm.
and how she went about things. And not in a shit talky, it was just, I didn't even know him. He just seemed defeated.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Well, and it's interesting now just to like look back at clips and like the way she would speak to him and like their whole relationship dynamic. Cause I'm sure he had his problems too, but it was definitely, she was,
Hostile.
Yeah.
If you're like that on camera,
Mhm.
off camera, I'd say multiply it by a factor of 10. Unless it's the Housewives, because I do think they played up for the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then like multiply it by 0.5.
Then I would divide it by 4.
But yeah, dark and twisty.
Tom Brady's, he's dating around.
Oh my God.
Good for him.
Kim K. Huh?
Yeah.
Why is everyone
moved
getting
on.
photographed?
Oh, has he moved out? Well,
He's
Kim K was the
easy.
rumor.
He was
Flirting
seen-
with Irina Shayk after
Bradley
overnight
Cooper's ex.
stay
An overnight stay.
at
Oh, wow.
Los Angeles home.
Tommy's having sleepovers.
Yep. 9
All right.
months after his divorce from Giselle, Brady was photographed picking up Shayk at Hotel Bel Air on Friday afternoon before the pair returned to the house for the night. At one traffic stop, Brady was snapped caressing her face as the two talked in the front seat of a black Rolls Royce.
Didn't Giselle go on a date too as well?
Who's she dating?
Well, originally she was seen with her like jujitsu trainer right
Oh,
after
yeah.
the divorce.
That's who it was. Yeah.
All right, it's Bachelorette time. What an episode. Not a lot. They really milked this one. I'm surprised they couldn't get more drama. Charity's being robbed. What a truncated season.
So truncated.
It's so fast, too. How are we already at hometowns?
I don't know.
Well, there's less people. I
That's
think.
not why, though. How many people does she have?
I think she had
25?
like 25. Yeah.
That
There's usually
used to
like 30.
It used to
right?
be 25. They hit 30, I think, for Ben or someone season before mine.
I know
and
my
then,
season was
and
30.
then my season had 30, and then I think every season after mine for a period of time had like 30 became the new standard.
Right.
We started a trend.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't start with me, but I
Mhm.
think they kind of bounced around. When they first had 30, they sold it as we have 5, we have more than expected. And then with me, I think they kind of played the whole like they played it up to like now I have 30, but then after that it was 30. Having 25 men, I guess what I'm saying is not why
Okay.
it's
Going faster.
It's they're like, oh, we only have 25 men now, so we have to give everyone like half the amount of time, and we have to cut 3 episodes. You know,
well, with
stuff
Rachel
like
and
that.
Gabby's, they had early hometowns as well.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the new norm. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like this is probably the new thing.
I don't know. And also, like, they didn't do any international travel this season. All domestic travel.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
All domestic.
Yeah. Well, they're in New Orleans.
Nola.
You know, they
Down in Bayou.
There
which
it
was
is.
kind of weird for me because we also did New Orleans. But
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you and Rachel Lindsay's date.
yeah.
Aaron was pissed.
Oh my god.
When they're sipping on those little orange juice,
Why-
whatever the fuck they were
He's
drinking.
always mad. I can't.
Yeah.
I've never
He
seen
wanted
someone
that date.
whine
He's like,
their
I want
way.
to show her the city that made me a man.
I mean, credit to Aaron. I've never seen someone whine their way to hometowns.
Yeah.
That's all he did was whine and complain.
He's a whinger.
And that's another like type of strategy like people use, like him.
The righteous indignation.
The righteous like hero. I like to call him the hero because of what he did last week with Braden and all that, and the tattletelling. I hate that. Like that's my least favorite like person that's on the Bachelor is when it's I'm here to protect her heart from everyone else. I'm like, why are you thinking about everyone else and not just thinking about your relationship? And that's what always like throws me. But yeah, he's probably my least favorite.
Would it surprise you? And I actually learned this from you, but would it surprise you to find out that Aaron is good friends
Yeah.
with Aaron?
Aaron for my season.
Aaron,
Enchanté.
Mr. like the king of complainers.
Aaron and James.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Aaron of the
Clancy
Jungle
Boy.
Path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like always sticking his nose in everyone else's business, constantly complaining, you know. So maybe
I thought about Aaron yesterday while
Right.
I was making eggs,
that's too bad.
and I thought to myself,
Which Aaron?
That
He
is
has-
nuts.
because I remember he was like, I'll have a 6-egg omelet, and I was making eggs. I was like, imagine 6.
6 egg omelet.
So,
Insane.
Also confused. I was confused because you mentioned he was from New Orleans, but then now he's going to Houston for his hometown.
I think he lives in New Orleans currently.
But his
And
little thing says
his family's in
San
Houston.
Diego.
He's from San Diego though.
Which
'cause
from San Diego, Nola made him a man. Why are we going to Texas?
him and Aaron are good friends. They're like best friends.
So
No, his
why is
little
he
thing says
whining
San
about
Diego.
Clancy's the reason Aaron B got on the show.
breaking news?
Boom.
Or
I think that he
signed
he,
it with his buddy?
Yeah, like signed him up.
Anyways, he's pissed again. He's whining. He's mad. Joey gets a one-on-one. Every once in a while, when Nally asks for a kiss and I am preoccupied or doing something else, I will just give her a little. And Nally refers to that as a Phyllis kiss. Phyllis being my
Yeah.
grandmother.
Yeah.
My mom's name is Phyllis.
Really? Love that. Love that for us.
Phyllis kiss is
What's the
crazy.
laugh today?
And I couldn't help it. I felt like Joey was serving up a lot of Phyllis kisses on this date. A lot of pecks. There was no. I guess this is all to say, do not in any way believe the chemistry between Joey and Charity.
Yeah, I sensed that in the. I don't want to touch you without your consent,
Wait,
but like
what?
it was like a.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was like I don't know
It's
in the carriage.
Just
Yeah,
like no.
And she's like kind of pushing forward a little bit more. And
Yeah, compared to like Dotun and even Xavier.
Xavier gets in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some lovey-dovey kisses right there. Those are meant
But
Because I feel like Charity's fighting for it. She's like, let me prove to you that like this is it.
with Joey,
Yeah.
With Xavier.
yeah, she wants it to be Xavier
Yeah.
real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have chemistry.
Yeah, I'm not buying the chemistry between Joey and Charity. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I think he's just there to
I'm
be the
buying it. Well, I'm just getting
What about it?
distracted. I just think Joey's so dreamy, and I think he's really respectful and cute. And like, I
all,
think
all of it.
because
all
I
of
love
it.
their
think
dinner
he's
conversation.
definitely, if he doesn't win, he's my bachelor choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
their dinner conversation and like her asking
Yeah.
about like an interracial relationship and how he feels about that. And I just love how he was like, he held space for her. He didn't rush her. Even I noticed when they got back on the carriage after the dinner, he's like, take your time. Like he's just like, I
Yeah.
really do
Lovely.
love him.
He's a gentleman.
He seems like
Yeah.
a sweet, sweet guy. Yeah.
Also-
Are they going to Hawaii for hometowns?
I hope so.
Because that's a trip.
we saw some tennis.
Well, that could be
That's,
anywhere.
that's a big inconvenience.
Other than that,
yeah.
It's a dome.
Can we talk about the difference? Like, they're either going to Hawaii or New Jersey. It's like,
Because his family's from there.
yeah, that's where he grew up.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh,
Just
they're
like, oh.
definitely going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big inconvenience logistically to have to fly to Hawaii in the middle of hometowns. That would be
Hmm.
a hike
Yeah.
and just like a lot. It would just fuck up production. So I'm curious if they end up going there or if they end up going to New Jersey. And I will say, just from, I don't know how Charity feels, but like at that point of the season, it's like, it's not like, oh, I want to go to Hawaii. It's like, you would rather just like drive 30 minutes to go to whoever's hometown than get on another plane. You're traveling it's just like you're trying to do the least amount of travel. So I don't know if Charity will be all that disappointed if she finds out she doesn't have to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, it's also so much more about the families, it feels like.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's like
like,
wherever the family
She's
is.
not
that's
really
where
going to
you
like
go.
spend a lot of time. And then imagine, no, it's even worse, going to Hawaii for a day.
Yeah. And
then
like not
leave-
getting
Just
to
a
leave the
little
hotel
taste.
room.
5
Yeah.
hours
Yeah.
there.
You're
and
5 hours there,
back.
yeah. Ugh.
You know what's worse than going to Hawaii for a day? Going to Newark, New Jersey.
Ugh.
People are going to
know.
be furious about that.
All right. Well, Joey has a 101. He gets his first hometown rose. Aaron's pissed again. And then Sean and Tanner get the 2-on-1. What is Sean upset about? And
That-
Also, Sean needs to stop narrating and doing math for us. Like, we know. How many times can the boy go, so there's going to be two of us, and then one of us gets a rose and gets to introduce her to
Well,
our
they
family,
do-
and the other one goes home?
They do ask you that though. That's like a question. They,
Yeah.
like, they like set the scene, tell us what's
So,
going
yeah, what's going on?
It's a 2-on-1. This is happening. I wanted a 1-on-1, but I didn't get it, so here I am. That's kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
or they just ask you the questions. And then
Yeah,
they-
and they're like, can you just re-say it just for us to
Yeah.
hear it? Yeah.
And part of it is because like they're resetting it for every episode to
Yeah.
kind of narrate what's going on. But I just more like what Tanner seems to have the appropriate response, which is I barely know her. She seems lovely. Sure, I'm excited about our chemistry, but like Sean's acting like where's this connection he's referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Bro.
literally panicking. He's like, well, I'm so sure, and if you're not sure, then what are we doing here? I'm like, what?
He said falling in love, didn't he?
No, wait.
He said-
no,
he
he
said-
said
I'm in the
process
process,
of falling in
Yeah,
love,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is a
that's
new
the
one.
new
Which is,
That's a new one.
first of all, to be clear, falling in already implies process of.
Yeah, but
so to
I'm
be
in-
in the process of being in the
Fall-
process.
he's in the process of falling in love. Yeah.
We're in
No,
the
it's-
process of falling part, but not even
Not the
near
love,
yet.
yeah.
Just the
No, it's
falling.
literally Luke P on Hannah's season during the talent show where he's like, I just want to say that I think I might possibly be on the verge of almost in the process of falling in love.
Yeah.
That's my
Potentially.
talent. Yep.
Potentially.
But we do get to hear Sean talking about, how much he loves his family.
Oh, daddy.
And
Yeah, and like they probably paid for a lot of stuff. I bet you love them.
A lot of cover
yeah,
up.
maybe. Well, yeah, including cover-ups.
I also, is it fair to criticize a man who needs a haircut?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
I have no idea.
on The Bachelorette, for sure.
But it is tough to get haircuts. So I do feel for a lot of the guys. Like I didn't get a haircut until like week 4. And I was like,
Yeah, but that's not what she's saying. He showed up with that mop.
oh, really? Okay.
Also, my hair was a goddamn mess on
my
Andy's season,
shit was
so-
terrible. Like halfway through, I was like, I need a haircut. Someone help us.
I just feel like he goes and he's like, make sure it's long enough to poke out under the lacrosse helmet.
Who's the little girl?
Allie.
Who's the little girl?
Please
Who is
tell me.
Why'd you got? He looks like Prince Charming from Shrek.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Braden
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh. Oh boy.
John.
I love
Also,
this, though.
When he was talking about gators, he's like, we have a lot of gators on the golf course in Florida.
Oh my God.
Land, I'll take them all day. Water, I don't think so. It's like, okay, take them on land. I would love to see you take a gator on land, Sean.
Well, he is.
There it is. That's
He
that's
is
pretty.
from Florida, and I do think a gator is easier to escape on land. Don't you just have to run diagonally?
They're fast.
Diagonally.
I believe so.
Yeah, like a zigzag.
Yeah, you zigzag because
Is that true?
They
yeah.
can only run straight.
They're fast though. Don't get
They're fast if
they're
you're running in a
fast.
straight
If you're
line.
in a straight line.
but if you run diagonal,
Can you
harder for those guys
Can you
to
like jump?
What, is this like a
'Cause they're
Mario
low to
Kart
the
game?
ground?
Google it. I think, or maybe
but
this.
can't then they just pivot their body so then they're going straight?
But I just think
Like
their
they
little
have little
legs. Yeah, they don't.
arms,
They're not
you
as.
know?
They're not made to zigzag.
They're
Like doing a
not.
3-point turn.
They kind of waddle like this as well.
and if you
so-
run in a straight
yeah.
line, you're fucked. But if
Yeah.
you zigzag,
Okay, experts debunk
Okay.
the advice to zigzag. Run away in a straight line. Gators move really
Okay,
fast in
there you
line,
go.
but only
I
in
was wrong.
short bursts and on distances before they tire out.
Yeah, but how? I mean,
So
How long
don't-
does it
Who's
run
gonna
to
tire
tire
out
out?
first?
don't
Yeah.
zigzag. Okay.
They also say try to cause a gag reflex
Huh?
by jamming
Wait,
an object you
what?
can reach into the back of the alligator's throat.
How would you be able to
I'm not
do
trying
that?
to do
I'm
that.
just putting my hands in. Yeah, to the bone.
It's graham cracker.
to the bone.
Been to the bone.
Oh my goodness, that's good.
All right,
And
Charity.
that's the laugh of the day.
Charity doesn't give out a rose because
Sean panics.
she needs more time.
Fair.
And this is not if you're mad at Charity for her lack of giving out roses, that's not a Charity decision here. There's milking an episode. But Dotun gets another one back to back.
And I noticed with Dotun, they always do
Is it
adventure.
Dotun or Dotun?
Dotun.
Oh, sorry, Dotun.
I've noticed with Dotun, they always do adventure activities because they did the bungee jumping and then they did
Yeah.
running where it's endorphins. And I was like,
they
I
really
feel like
running?
they're really trying to. They didn't run very
They're
much,
walking.
but still endorphins.
So after this episode, I know I went hard to the paint by saying that I'm convinced that Charity will pick Xavier. And this episode had
Oh,
Xavier really
Done, for sure.
kind of pumping the brakes, showing some doubt. Dotun just continues on this like smooth but yet quick speed of advancing the relationship. How do you guys see it?
I feel like it's going to end up like Michelle's season, where it's like, I think Xavier is the new Nate, and I think
Yeah.
Dotun is Brandon.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
100%.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But I think she picks Brandon this time and
Mm.
not
No.
and not Nate.
Well,
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. But I think
yeah.
I think this episode is right in line with their kind of playbook edit. If you even go back to Andy's season, of which I was a part of, I was getting 2 one-on-ones before anyone else was. I was getting all the quality time. I was getting special, like I was the one who got to like comfort her when she was upset. And Josh, the one person she ended up with, it was always her favorite behind the scenes. I mean, I didn't even know this at the time, right? But he got a one-on-one around the same time, Dotun and now it's a truncated season. And on the episode prior to Hometowns, which usually happens, if you go back and look, the lead usually has the question mark about what is in reality their favorite. And so the fact that this was an episode in which Charity was, it seemed like there was a bit of a ripple in the relationship between Xavier and Charity is very much in line with Caitlin's season. That particular episode, granted, that was a little different. There was a lot of drama going on, but there was a rough patch for Sean and Caitlin. Very same episode before Hometown. And I'm guessing if you go back, it's usually that episode before Hometown and in the finale, usually it's the person they don't end up with where their last date seems like it's smooth and easy and breezy and fun. And it's the person they end up picking where they're just like, are you sure? Are we? They try to poke holes in that. And again, maybe there was parts of Dotun's date where, they had kind of a more, hey, that's, things are going great, but I just want to check in here. And maybe there was a moment where Dotun said something to Charity that she didn't love or vice versa, but we haven't seen any of that. We've
Yeah.
seen nothing but smooth fucking sailing. And to me, that just reaffirms that she's absolutely going to pick Xavier and not Dotun because it just looks like
Too
it's
easy.
got to be Dotun.
yeah.
It's got to be too easy. But yet, Dotun is, to your point, he is the one, and we talked about this last week, who's giving all the green flags, and they are, Xavier literally said, I like Charity
I don't know. If
and I
Charity's-
want to fall in love with her, as if like It was such an honest thing to say.
It was worse than that. He was like,
If she's
I know
the
what you're
one,
saying.
he
It was
doesn't
way
want to.
worse
Well,
than
He
that.
said, every time I speak with true honesty to a woman, it puts doubt in their head.
Well,
Yeah.
there's that too. But before that,
I feel like that's a very
what
incriminating
did he
line.
say? He said, I don't know if she's the one that I would fall in love with. It's like, I want to fall in love, but I don't know if she's
He's
the
the one.
He wants to get engaged
Yo.
and he wants to get married, but he doesn't know. He literally was like, but I don't know if it's you.
That's what he said to
And
her
then he
face.
goes,
so
Yeah.
honest.
And then he
And
goes,
her reaction was like, "Fuck, bro." like,
Like, yo, you were the one. Like, what are you doing this to me?
and when he goes, can I get there? Yes. If you're the one, I don't want to pass that up. I was like, don't make her sound like it's a Black Friday deal. Like,
But
Oh
it
my
is
God.
honest. Again,
It is very
He
honest.
was
It's
acting like
honest.
Braden. He was being honest.
Yeah, but see, the difference between him and Braden was he was going through the process of
Yeah.
actually trying to like the girl.
Yeah.
Like Braden was, I feel like, was not trying to like the girl. I think
but
he
what-
was.
What? Fair. Okay, I'll give you that. But what is better?
No, it's the same thing. But like you've
Trying
seen,
to like. I don't want someone to try to like me.
But no, you've seen the intentions. I'm sorry, the intentions were different. Like Xavier's intentions was to try and fall in love with this. Braden's never ever looked like he was aligned with that. path.
I'll give
Also,
you that
Xavier
for sure.
didn't take up and I know they need someone to take up time, but like Braden's antics took up a lot of fucking
Oh, for
time
sure,
at the
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
For not like Xavier's at the end. Like we're finally at the point where we should actually be talking about it because we're almost at hometown. We're about to meet my family. Like now we can address the elephant in the room. Like, yeah, I don't know if I can get on a knee right now. I don't know if you're the person.
He's got like 3 weeks.
Braden said that like week 2. Like,
Yeah, it's like, did you
It's-
try? Did
like,
you
did
try?
you even try to at least fall at this girl? No.
I hope to fall in love with her.
they had like this weird like power imbalance the whole episode. Like Xavier would say that and she'd be like, oh shit, like, okay, that's on you. And then later in the episode, she was like, I don't have to give out this rose, but
But
I
I'm
will.
going to.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't need to say that. She was
Yeah.
taking back the power then.
She's
Yeah.
trying to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. if she
Xavier would
did.
show a little facial expression. He was like, "Oh man, I thought he really felt like he messed it up for a minute." He was like, "I think I might have screwed up here," but it was good to see. him come
Why
back.
do you think it's a red flag for him to say that?
To me, and you can totally like contextualize it where it's like not an issue, where it's like maybe he's just like a really honest person who's willing to like tell the truth even when it makes people uncomfortable. But I just think there's something of saying every single time I speak with true honesty, it puts doubt in their head, which makes me believe that like the true honesty is like different than the way he's been speaking before,
Mm.
because now they have doubt when before they didn't. So it makes me feel like maybe there's something about the way he's kind of presenting up until then that is not.
Well, he's
fully
clearly a
represented.
very charming guy. On his first date with Charity, he's like kind of sitting on top of her. This giant guy with
Yeah,
oozing with charisma, a great smile, good looking, and just him, I think, being charismatic and flirtatious can send mixed signals.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then when he's speaking, I guess, from honesty, as he says, and says, well, yeah, I mean, I like you, but some version of
Yeah.
that. And he's just like, I'm just not there yet. And he's obviously this pragmatic guy. He's a literal scientist. I assume that might cause him to be a little heady,
yeah.
you know, in
I
terms
feel like
of
he
his.
has like 3 female friends who are in love with him and he has no idea.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
He hasn't met, he has all these people who he's like calls platonic friends that are women. And he's just like, yeah, no, we're totally like just friends. And they're all like, in love with him.
Do we think he made the sweater that he was wearing that episode with the pink flames?
That's a
was a
good question.
great
He does.
sweater.
I
It
did-
was
I
a
thought
nice
that.
sweater.
It was a
It was
great look.
really
He's a
nice.
fantastic dresser.
Great,
Yeah.
he's-
Absolutely.
His
Yeah.
color,
He's definitely been the best, most fashionable on the
Oh,
show.
easy.
This,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
yeah, it's been
Not
great.
much competition there, though.
No, really isn't. I will say I was very disappointed with just the fashion statements from the guys this year.
It's tough.
Just not good. Yeah.
It's also just a tough world to make to be bold
Yeah.
with your fashion choices.
Yeah.
But
I wore like
even
4
more credit to
turtlenecks.
Xavier for being able to
So did
make
he.
those choices and pull it off.
Really?
What's that?
You wore turtlenecks?
I was put in a turtleneck. Yeah.
You were were you
Someone
kicking and
forcibly-
screaming?
As the Bachelor. Yeah.
Kicking and screaming, though?
It was one of those like, hey, these are getting really popular. I want you to, and I was like, all right, well, let's try to like start a trend. And
You're
then,
like, okay, Steve Jobs, me.
like, okay. And then, yeah.
Oh, it was thick too.
and
I had
then-
a
It
thick
was
one
like-
too.
Are you talking about the gray one?
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that
hot.
was great,
It was really,
too.
it was
Yeah.
really hot. It was really
I
hot.
think Jimmy Kimmel's wife like came at me really hard for the for the turtleneck.
Probably.
I
yeah.
was like, I thought it looked good at the time.
Yeah, I it wasn't my choice, but I was a willing participant and wearing the turtleneck, and there was a few memes
Yeah.
created from it. Yeah,
Brutal.
for sure.
Fair enough.
Do you
fair
remember
enough.
that one like shot this episode of Joey in a bandana and glasses?
I
And
thought
he
it looked good.
I thought it was so endearing. And I
Yeah.
was like, I want more shots of these men in their natural attire. Like, I want more ambush shots of the men.
Xavier
Ambush.
admits to the idea of committing to one person for life scares him. Why aren't we
That's fair though.
It is fair.
right.
That's
I'm
fair.
like-
so fair.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, going back to the whole Braden thing, like, you know, we can say that's really fair, but it's also fair enough to go into this situation and be like, just drink the fucking Kool-Aid. Like, just do it, you know?
Play
Like
along.
Love Island, it's 4 weeks in, no one's girlfriend, boyfriend. I don't know if anyone's watching the new season, and I'm
Yeah.
pissed. But in normal life, that's obviously fair
Yeah.
and normal
Yeah.
and should be. But I'm angry. No one said I love you. It's so fucked up.
Damn.
But in real life,
Yeah,
Responsible.
it's totally.
yeah, I don't think she's gonna pick Xavier.
No.
I'm.
He
How-
hasn't gotten enough airtime.
Oh,
Well,
doesn't mean
I think
anything.
he had like two one-on-ones, didn't he? Or no,
No.
just one.
This was like they kind of made the rose ceremony into a Xavier 101.
Yeah.
And I'd be willing to bet that in reality, they were like, "Hey, why don't you kids hang out off camera?" I bet they got to spend a lot of time, and they probably
Really?
they probably filmed it and they probably were mic'd up, but they probably had no intention of really ever using it. And given the fact that this season is a bit truncated and shorter, again, they want the lead to fall in love. You know, they want to make a TV show, but they are there to help the process. So if they feel like the lead isn't getting enough like quality time with their person, they'll give you some of that time off camera and let you sit there, and maybe they'll use it or maybe they won't. But I'd be willing to bet that Xavier and Charity got to sit and hang out, get to know each other, and have a little bit more time, and allow Xavier to like maybe catch up with some of his feelings. I would be almost,
I like that.
you know,
I think that
very confident in saying that.
So after that conversation, after she gives him the rose,
Yeah, they're like,
That would
hey,
happen.
things
Okay,
get more,
yeah.
you know, when you're down in the final four, things
You
are a
get
little more
more
chill,
relaxed,
a little
yeah.
more relaxed, a
Yeah.
little more free time. Literally, there's just more time.
yeah,
And they were just kind of wrapping up. Like when they get to hometowns, it's like the difference between hometowns and everything else is almost like 2 different seasons
yeah.
from a filming standpoint. And so there's almost like a wrap party, like a mini wrap, literally,
There is.
after like when they get to hometowns.
I was still there, and they had their little party.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh
sounds like
no.
there's so much going on out there.
Yeah. Well, they were all
Wait, you
saying-
didn't you weren't allowed in the party. You could just hear it from outside.
Yeah, well, I was like stuck in my hotel room. I wasn't.
Into
I wasn't
You were
like-
pulling
yeah.
a Greg, looking out on the.
Yeah,
really
just like
emo.
listening. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. My room was dark. Like after I was like, let's not talk about it.
We won't judge that
You're
up.
just like lying on the hotel bed.
I
and
was
it's
lit-
pitch
I
dark.
literally didn't move. I'm just like, I turned the shower on. I didn't even get in. I just like let it run.
Oh, let's get back to
my
the quick
God.
laughs. This is too sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the things that the show will do to like, you know, make people feel more comfortable or more at home and things like that. And then like that could be their time to like make Xavier feel more comfortable, some behind the scenes. And part of it is just like, yeah, let's just like make them feel more comfortable. And part of it probably is a little bit of manipulation and you know, bringing them, you know, they are trying to make sure all these people are at a place of love by the end. And so they're all trying to time it out and things like that. So, but I'm that much more convinced after this week that she's picking Xavier.
I like that. You kind of just changed my whole perspective on it. I thought it was going to be Dotun for sure, but
But you even said when we were watching it how much she wants to.
she wants it to be Xavier. Like you could see that, but like,
And Charity has yet to really show us Charity the therapist. She's been showing us Charity the dater, and it's just hard to be in that bubble and have no support system, have a bunch of people giving you bad advice, and it's hard to not just go with what you deep down want.
But Charity said before that, like, I don't know if she said this explicitly, but it's clear that she works up these men in her mind, and then she's like asking the questions to try and assure herself that, you know, the mind version of this guy are the
Aligns.
same. Like, that's why she had Warwick on the one-on-one. She had this version of him in her head. and she could realize in the moment, oh, I was
Remember
wrong about
Warwick?
that. I think the bubble could pop and
funny.
she could realize
Anything's possible.
my
but
mind version of Xavier is not the Xavier that's with me.
I think it's only possible if it'll be up to Xavier. Because when
Yes.
Charity's asking these questions, she even starts nodding before they even start talking.
Yeah. Like,
She's
yes,
like
yes.
anticipating their question.
Yeah,
And she's like, yes,
yeah.
I like that. Yes, yes, yes. So it's like she's
It's like affirming with
affirming
herself.
what
yeah.
she internally wants. So, and again, if she wants Xavier, Xavier probably will be like, now that he's at Hometowns, there will be a lot of one-on-one conversations Xavier is going to have with a bunch of producers. And again, it's a combination of them making a show, and at the same time, he needs a support system. I wanted to talk about my feelings and process my feelings. I didn't want to talk about these feelings, especially at this juncture, with the other dudes who also assumed they had strong feelings for the same person. So I was like, who wants to talk with me about my feelings? I need to like figure them out. And so they're gonna, they'll say things like, listen, it's a crazy world and yada yada, but like, you're overthinking it. How do you, and so they'll kind of massage him into, I guess however they might want, but it will be his feelings. But if Xavier says, like, so who brought up Nate and Michelle? Very similar
take.
in that where
Thank you.
Nate's stepdad was like, I don't know if this guy's ever been in a relationship. Nate's like, I don't know, like this, but like, I'm in love. And I think he genuinely was in love with Michelle. Nate as a human love, right? But like Nate as a potential life partner who was ready to get engaged, showed all the red flags he needed to show for Michelle to be like, what a beautiful tall guy, but like, I don't know if this is the right pick. But in fairness to Michelle, like, I always find it frustrating as a lead for like, you know what? My person's probably not here, and that's for the Charity or, whoever, myself. This is why I would defend Charity's pick of Xavier if she does, because it's like, Dotun might be great, might be wonderful, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not obsessed with him. And if anyone is
great
going to be my
point, man.
person, I'm going to see if it's Xavier, because I'm
Yeah.
not going to get in someone I'm not over the moon excited about.
I love
So
that.
I'll just get engaged to Xavier and I'll see if it's my person, because there's a good chance the people who don't know me that well, who are in charge of casting, who are also considering making a TV show, who aren't just casting for me, that there's a good chance my person's not here.
What if Xavier says, I really like you, I want to date you, I'm not going to propose?
I think she would be devastated.
Yeah.
What do we think she does?
Has
though,
there been a
ultimately?
Bachelorette who's not been proposed to?
Has a Bachelorette ever proposed? Becca
I
Kufa.
don't-
think Becca Kufa. That's what I thought too.
No.
Yeah.
Charity seems pretty old fashioned when it comes to dating. I can't.
Mhm.
I imagine she might be devastated.
Only one Bachelorette ever ended the season without getting engaged, and that was season 3's Jen.
Just her
Interesting.
birthday the other day. I saw it on the page.
Happy birthday. I think Cherry would be frustrated.
Yeah. I feel like if their fantasy suite, I'm so excited to see like what the morning of that is going to look like between Charity and Xavier.
I totally forgot about that part of the show.
Yeah.
Sex week?
Next week.
How could you? How could you forget?
I just, it's always like hometowns. They're like, and then, oh, who are they going to pick?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes. Because I think now everyone skips sex week anyways.
What do you mean?
There'll probably be just one person that she'll have sex with, and that's probably the person that she's going to win. Except for Zach's season. That didn't go that way.
It's usually 2.
Yeah. I just think they should just not even talk about if they did or not. Just spend the night, and who knows?
That would be ideal for everyone involved, but
Right.
they get a little nosy with the questions sometimes.
Yeah.
Aaron just whining his way to hometowns. I found it to be frustrating. that
It's
he-
hilarious how we have not like, oh, well, Aaron still got a shot. No one's even touched it on that part.
No. He hasn't even had a date. What are they going to talk about in their hometown?
Well, he had,
hometown.
he had the first one-on-one.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah.
He was the first
Because
one.
he's saying, he said,
Did he?
it's been a long time since my date. I want to show her Nola. And meanwhile, Sean and Tanner are like, dude, we don't even know her name.
Wait,
Like, help
Aaron
us
had
out.
a one-on-one?
He's the first one-on-one of the season.
I forgot.
I forgot what they did. Would they go to a movie theater or something like that? No, I'm tripping.
Was that I Want to Love like the Hollywood sign?
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Was that him?
Yeah.
What's that?
It was like the sign, right? Okay, I don't know.
Were they in
what I'm
LA?
talking
Yeah.
I thought he didn't. Oh, okay.
No, he had a date. Yeah.
Oh, so long ago.
Because he said in this episode, it's been so long since our date.
Yeah, I knew he was the first date one.
So
We would know
Is
if he
Aaron
hadn't
the
had a
one with-
one-on-one.
Is
we
he the one
would
with the
know.
kid?
Well, I thought he complained so much,
Oh,
and that's
no.
why yeah.
Hmm.
So that was okay. I
Because
forgot-
he hasn't
I
had
totally forgot.
validation since his first one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because that's where like Braden started getting upset about not being picked.
Oh, yeah,
and
'cause
that's,
he
that was
was
a
like-
first
seed.
impression,
Yeah.
Rose. It's like,
Yeah.
I should have got the one.
Yeah, I should've-
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
No one wants love like Hollywood. It's gross.
What do y'all think of Tanner and how he carried himself?
I wish I knew who Tanner was.
I think he did the best he could.
Yeah.
I felt
I just don't think, it was ever a match. It was, and he went through the process. And I think that's what you get. I think it's gonna bode well for him, like going forward, because he actually bought in and did it. But he's like, all right, well, I know what it was. Like, we didn't have that connection. We never got to the point where I thought we were gonna get to, and I thought it was good.
Carried himself well. He didn't
Carried-
get angry
I
about
guess
it
he
like
didn't get
Sean
angry.
did.
Huge
wasn't in
testament to his
denial.
character.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
stood in his own lane. He's like, this is
Yeah.
how we're gonna run. I'm gonna run my race with her, and
I
Yeah.
guess it depends on what you want. And completely forgettable and not memorable.
Yeah, and they totally could have set him up. I'm sure they could have given him like a next Bachelor edit if they'd wanted to.
yeah, I think so.
You
Well,
know,
I
like I'm
mean-
sure they had footage to show, but it was just like, oh, because Charity was really crying when she said bye to him in a way that she wasn't crying with Sean, and she was like, I don't want to be the
No.
The
person.
breakup with Sean was
Cringe.
He was like, please, no. And she was like, this is the decision I have made. And he's like, but
No, but I loved when he goes, if we got that one-on-one time, we could get there. And she goes, but we're here. Like, it
Yeah.
was like the phrase she was like, but
she didn't look at him either. She would be like,
I always love it when the lead is just like, I just can't wait. Keep in mind, she didn't give him, she didn't give out a rose on that 2-on-1. With the presumption is just like, we'll figure it out. I just need more time. And then coincidentally, he shows up and he gets into the process of falling in love. And I always love how the lead then immediately knows that, like,
it's time to break up.
that's my cue,
Yeah.
Yeah. Brendan did that on my season. He was literally in the same position. He's like, I never got a 1-on-1. Puts his chapstick on. And
So, listen, you're making a TV show. And so you always have to like kind of wait for dialogue to happen.
Mhm.
And so, I'd always know if I was sending someone home before a date, and so it's just like, you just got to make some TV. And then the cue would be, I'd get a cue and it'd be from
no fucking way.
the back. It was just like, let them talk and let them talk. And usually it was let them say, I'm falling in love, or I'm in the process of falling in love, and then I would
Drop 'em.
Shine a light.
No, the cue is this.
Oh,
no!
my God.
That's nuts.
That was the cue. And I'd always seen it at the corner of my eye because, like, I'm kind of looking for because
can't they see it?
no, because
No,
like
they're like
they're behind them.
and it's dark kind of.
So the girls have no
They
idea.
have no idea.
No.
Well, hometowns next week, and next week we have the one and only Susie Evans to
Oh,
help us
Andrew's
break down
girlfriend.
Andrew's girlfriend,
Yeah.
Susan.
Susan.
She's great. Nice lady.
Yeah.
Nice
lady. Andrew, please let my audience know all the wonderful and wacky things you're doing online, where they can follow you and enjoy your content.
You can follow me on everything at Andrew Z Spencer. I'm on Threads now too as well. I don't know if you guys use it. I don't. But
Thought I'd mention it,
I'm on
though.
it. I'm on it. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I think I'm funny sometimes. So
You're hilarious.
if you want a good laugh, I would head there.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We will see you back on Thursday for an amazing episode of Going Deeper. You do not want to miss that. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.